I don't know. I couldn't work it out before, and then everyone was saying um everyone was saying that you need a PC basically. Oh my god, Lux chauffeurs. We do need a call. I'm so sorry. I haven't got the app. Do you do it from an app? Um yeah, we just need to jump on a call. Like life is just so hectic. This is why I struggle to fit everything in. Okay, so I'm live on TikTok, not TikTok, guys. YouTube. So if you want to see the full charts, it's just Doey Trades on YouTube. Morning, Patrick. Um, okay, download it on Mac App Store. Okay, cool. That's gonna be one of my tasks for today to try and get this going so that I can share my charts to TikTok as well. But yeah, right for now. Um, for now, we are live on YouTube. So I'm just gonna have a little look. So I'm looking at Euro USD. Obviously, like right now, structural wise on the lower time frame, it's looking a bit bearish, but I'm seeing this as a bit of a pullback. So if we just have a quick look at the 4 hour, we had that really big push to the upside. I've now actually moved my trend line, so it is higher, but we could be creating a bit of a bearish channel down. I'm learning how to use the MACD as well. That's an indicator if you guys didn't know that. But yeah, please drop me a WhatsApp today. I do have a little bit more time at the moment, so yeah, drop me a message. Let's jump on a call. Let's do this. But yeah, similar analysis to me. Oh, that's sick. Yeah, I still don't actually know how you trade. Every time I jump on, every time I see you on your lives, I'm having to like jump on and jump off. But yeah, so I'm looking at Euro USD. I've got a area marked up at for it to pull back into, which is 1.17074, and that is basically a key zone. So the other areas that I like to mark up, obviously you can see on the 4 hour, if we're looking at the 4 hour, we zoom out, we've got a bullish trend, we've got a bearish trend giving us that triangle, which is eventually going to exhaust. But then we've got that on a even bigger scale as well, if you're then looking at the daily, the weekly. But right now we have touched the top of a trend line, and if you look at price, when we start to move back down to the bullish trend lines, we start to move in a bit of a channel. So I feel like, Euro USD, GBP USD, they kind of move like this. It's really clean, and it looks like right now we're doing that. And like I said, I am trying to use the MACD to understand a lot more about volume. So if we have a look what's happening on the 1 hour, you just turn my brightness up. Okay, people keep asking me to co-host, like final zone. Three things you like about yourself. That's random. Key zone like Fortnite. No, we're not talking about Fortnite, guys. Yeah, not talking about Fortnite. Morning, buddy. Yeah, so we're not talking about Fortnite, guys. We're talking about trading, forex trading in particular. Okay, so if we just have a look at the 1 hour on Euro USD, we've had potentially like a slight breakout of Asia lows. It's very, very slight though. But like I said, I do feel like we have room to come down. Okay, we didn't fully break out of Asia lows, so we may have a little bit of a pullback here. So, and you can see here we're kind of rejecting already because we didn't fully break out. But I'm not looking at taking buys right now, to be honest, for Euro USD. I want it to kind of pull back a little bit more. But anyway, just letting you know about the key zones that I was about to talk about. It's just basically previous support resistance levels. So I like using session highs and lows in the mid-range. So yeah, I'm just marking those areas up, basically waiting for price to get into those areas, and then we're looking for potential reversal. So if we look at the MACD right now, so we can see that price is, it does look like it's going down. So that's it's creating lower lows, lower highs, but the MACD is kind of doing the opposite. And it also looks like the RSIs are going to be crossing over soon for a potential buy, which is a really good indication that this could just be a channel and then we could get our big move to the upside. So it's just going to be about when that is, to be honest. But like I said, if I'm looking maybe at the 4 hour, if we look at the fib tool, okay, so it has tapped into the 50%, but the sweet spot is the 0.618. So yeah, I think we want to wait for it to pull back a little bit more. Montana, what's my strat? Okay, I'll go through that in a second. Thank you so much for the follows there on TikTok. I appreciate you guys. People still trading in December. I'm not trading as much, but I will still look at the charts. Jebco, thank you. I could take that as a compliment. Not that every movie star is obviously a good thing, but I'm going to take that as a compliment. But yeah, so someone asked me about key zones. Anyone on TikTok, if you want to actually see the full charts, I am live on YouTube now. So it's just Doey Trades on YouTube. I'm just gonna have a look and see if we've got any. Okay, cool. Mr. Bubbles, good morning. RKD official, good morning. Good to see you guys here. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you want me to look at anything specific. But yeah, so someone asked me what my strategy is. My strategy is basically very, very basic things. So I like to trade reversals basically. So maybe I'll have my trend lines on the 4 hour or the daily. I don't do trend lines on anything lower, just because on the lower time frame we're just going to get a lot more movement and a lot more manipulation. So I don't really trade trend lines on the lower time frame. So I've got them marked up on 4 hour, daily. I wait for it to break out, and I'm using that as an indication. So once it breaks out, we can take a trade that way. But these setups don't come that often. Ghost, thank you so much. Guys on TikTok, please don't forget to double tap the screen for me. Get the live out there. I would appreciate you guys. And I am someone's asked, am I Thai? I'm half Thai. But yeah, so trend line breakouts, and also I like to trade key areas. So this is just the first part of my strategy. Obviously we need there's you've got to build up a bit of a story here, so that's like your kind of indication, I suppose. So my key zones on the lower time frame, I'm using basically support and resistance levels, and I like in particular session highs and lows. And because of the time that I like to trade, I like to trade London sessions, so this usually is going to be Asia highs and lows. So I can either wait for a reaction at the Asia highs or lows. So in this particular case, we didn't really break out, but we didn't really reject either. So in this scenario, we could potentially, because I'm looking for this to pull back a little bit more. And this is a day trade, guys. This is not swing trading. This is not long-term trades. But yeah, if we were to actually take this now, we're going to look on the lower time frame to have a look for new data to actually show us that we are moving in our bias, which is bearish right now. So like I said, I believe the bigger move is going to be once we've pulled back a little bit more. So if we want to wait on the 1 minute, I quite like the 3 minute. It's kind of like the in between. We wait for the 3 minute to actually give us some new bearish structure. And what I mean by new bearish structure is that we're not looking at old structure, because if we were looking at, the fact that it broke these lows over here, that's old bearish structure. We want this continuation to the downside. So, once we break these lows, then we can potentially look for an area to take our trade from once we've had a point of interest that's actually broken structure. I would then mark up, like, for example, if this candle did break down, I would mark up the last candle that kind of caused that move, and then we'd be looking to take a sell from this box here. But that's not what happened. Shane X, I'm on this today. I'm going to be working out how I can actually do this for TikTok, but right now I'm live on YouTube. So if you want to see the full charts, it's just Doey Trades on YouTube. And then you can come and see the charts there. But yeah, for now, we've not got anything on Euro USD. Like I said, my preferred thing to wait for right now is for it to pull back to, I think, what day was this? This was Thursday. So I've got this previous area. It was an area of resistance. It's just been it's been an old area of resistance where, for me, there could definitely be an area to trade from. Age of my age is, I was going to say 29, but I'm literally about to say, I'm about to turn 29 next Monday. A week today, guys, I'm going to be 29. How crazy. Okay, let's have a look at the other pairs that I trade. So I trade NQ as well. Okay, NQ, there's nothing for me on NQ right now. I've already marked up my key zones that I'm waiting for. Thank you so much for the follows on TikTok. I really appreciate you all. I'm a 65-year-old grandpa. Okay. Bit strange. Ghost, half Thai. I'm half Thai, quarter Jamaican, quarter English. Okay, so for me, NQ, I'm bullish on NQ, but I'm not going to be doing anything until we actually get some movement. It's a bit slow. Obviously, it's a Monday morning. It's December. It's not really a lot happening, but I have areas above and below that I'm waiting for to see how they react. How many years in Forex? You know what? It is coming up to 9 years now. How crazy is that? Oh my god, my fucking dog is barking. Okay, so GU. Okay, this is interesting because GU and EU I usually find move very, very similar. But right now, okay, MACD is pretty much consolidating, so no real direction there. I would say I'm bullish. So I've got some areas below that I would potentially buy from, but if we do just move up, then I'm just going to mark up here some areas to monitor. I mean, this is a very, very small range. So, and as you can see, I'm literally marking up like the previous session highs, lows, and mid-range for Asia. And you can see here there was a lot of, it was a support and resistance area. So it's not that I just take trades from this specific area, but this is just areas that I monitor. They're just point of interest for me that I could potentially look for reversals. And like I said, there's two different types of strategies. If I want to try and swing trade or, hold my positions, I'm waiting on the higher time frame, like the 4-hour, the daily, for those breakout, and then the retest on the trend lines. And then my day trading, I like to use my key areas. So it'll be interesting to see how we react to Asia highs here. But yeah, I would say I'm more bullish on GU. But yeah, nothing as of yet for me, guys. So we just gotta wait and be patient. Okay. All right, let's zoom in a little bit. Like I said, right now as well, the MACD is not really giving us anything on GU. It's gonna probably have to just wait it out, really. Okay, so now we're looking at silver. So my only other things that I'm probably going to look at is silver and gold. The overall trend is bullish, but we had a bit of a pullback. We're currently in that extension, so we haven't gone past the highs yet. So if this continues in our uptrend, this should be breaking these highs. So let's have a look on the 1 hour. 1 hour has been extending a lot. So you can see here, everyone always asks the question like about the strategy. The thing is about the strategy is that over the years you build up so much knowledge. There's a lot of things that play into the strategy. I actually prefer to call it like a model or something, because there's a lot of things that I take into consideration. So even though we're bullish, in a market, we extend and then we correct, which is the pullback. So let me just show you a quick diagram of what I mean. We extend, we pull back, we extend. Right now, you can see we're in the extension. It'd be quite risky just to take a buy. It's not to say that it's not just going to keep pushing up, but I would probably prefer for it to pull back a little bit. And if we have a look here, that first candle actually rejected out of the Asia highs. So the ideal situation would be for it to pull back a little bit. So I'm going to actually mark up, maybe this could be an area to buy from, or even the lows. Potato 134. I'm trading gold, silver, NQ, Euro USD, and GBP USD at the moment. I don't really want to trade anything more than that, because I feel like that's just when I start getting really confused. I feel like this is enough. Like there's 5 things for me to look at. But yeah, let me know in the comments, guys, if I've got any traders here, if you want me to go over anything in particular. Okay, let's have a little look. So yeah, I would be waiting for price to maybe come back into these areas here before taking a buy. Like I said, it's not that, we're not going to get a pullback. I have this area here that we could reject from. So we could get something that moves a little bit like this, where we push up, we pull back, maybe even onto this area. It doesn't any, I don't know, it doesn't have to pull back loads. But right now there's nothing that is a good enough setup for me. Will Netflix come through? I don't know what you mean by that, Nino. And then last but not least, gold. So gold overall, I'm bullish. We're very, very close though to all-time highs. So this red box here is a key level on the daily time frame. And this is basically, if we break past this, we're back in all-time highs again. So we're very, very close. Nero FX, haven't seen you for a while. How are you? So yeah. Sorry for the coughing, by the way, guys. I know it sounds bad, but it was so much worse. It's so much worse. Okay, let's have a little look. Yes, so much worse before. So even though it does sound horrible, I'm actually very happy at finally becoming a little bit better. Okay, so gold, like I said, we're looking at it being very bullish, but we are coming into a real big daily key area right now. So, we're not in any rush to be taking this. Let's have a look at the 4 hour. 4 hour, we're in that extension. Okay, so actually, we could supposedly have a bit of an extension now. On the 4 hour there, because you can see we're literally at equal highs. If this is meant to be, a bullish trend, we're going to be making a new high. But we haven't fully come into this zone yet, so it'll be interesting to see, because we didn't quite make it there. You can see we got very, very close, but we didn't quite make it there. 1 hour, we haven't yet broken Asia highs. Okay, so we've had a crossover on the MACD RSIs for potential buy, but yeah, like I said, this is very, very, very risky if you were just to take that trade. I think I would definitely need a lot more. And it being a Monday, I'm going to just check if we've got any news for today. So for me, we haven't got any red folder news, but we've got an Empire State Manufacturing Index, which is amber. CPI for the Canadian dollar. And we just got some other speeches going on in America. Nothing too crazy though. Okay, let me just see if we've got any comments. Any serious comments on TikTok? No, we haven't. Thank you so much for the follows there. But yeah, so that is pretty much what I'm looking at today. If we have a look. We have a look here. Yeah, the ideal situation, I think, for the 1 hour. It's just that we've just extended so much. But like I said, we could definitely keep pushing. But I just don't know if we're going to get that kind of volume on a Monday. AJ2808. I don't know what you said. I'm not sure what you said, what you were joking about. Thank you for liking the live though, guys. I appreciate you guys. But yeah, so anyone who wants to see the full charts, we're here on YouTube now and just looking at gold. If we do get a breakout of Asia highs, this is definitely a good sign, like, you know, a clean breakout, but this is on the 1 hour, so we'd want to wait for that 1 hour closure, and then, you know, be looking at the lower time frame. So just to break things down for you guys, you've heard what the first part of the strategy is, which is finding your bias, really. So whether it be one of my swing trades, which I'm looking more at the trend lines on the higher time frames, but if I'm day trading, you know, this is with the intention for it to I'm not going to be holding it for days. Basically, I'm only going to be holding it maximum the day, which I would say that usually doesn't happen. Maybe like 5-6 hours has been the max that I've really held a day trade for. But yeah, so that, you know, with that intention, I'm not looking at that overall thing. I'm looking at the moves that are happening on these kind of key areas for those daily moves. So key levels, and then once we get to those key levels, I'm waiting for some type of reaction. So are we breaking out? Are we rejecting? And then that is going to give me my bias. So for example, this at this 1 hour on silver, the first candle, we got a reaction to Asia highs. We got the reaction to Asia highs, but we didn't break out. But the thing is, that would be going against the trend, because I'm bullish for silver. So, you know, me taking a sell would be riskier. What I would prefer is for it to either sweep this area here or this area here, and then look for buys. So I personally have been really stung a lot of times going against the trend. So for me now, I would just prefer to go with the trend, and stay out, even if we're, you know, getting indications to go against, and, you know, we can play these like pullbacks and whatever. But yeah, I would prefer to go with the trend, unless we do have some type of exhaustion. So again, like I said, I will go against the trend if we're breaking out of a trend, and we exhaust one trend. And I'm really interested in actually using the MACD to learn more about volume and that kind of thing, because this is a really interesting concept to me, because knowing when a trend is potentially exhausted, so that we can look for the reversal. AJ2808, respond. What do you think about Bitcoin? Oh, right. I don't trade Bitcoin. Like I was saying, I look at gold, silver, GBP, USD, Euro USD. So yeah, you can keep scrolling. I don't do crypto really. Crypto's not really my thing. So yeah, that's not something that I have an opinion on. So I know someone was saying, do I think it's gonna go back up? I you know, I don't know enough about Bitcoin. I think I do think it's gonna go back up, but I just don't know enough about it. So I'm not gonna give, you know, give my opinion when I just don't really know. But yeah, so that's basically all I'm looking at today, guys. I'm not going to be rushing anything, just going to be waiting for those reactions. Another thing to pay attention to as well is I do use the Fibonacci tool. So, you know, if we're going with a trend, I'm using it on the 4 hour. So that could be, you know, another area of interest, the kind of 0.618 area, 0.7 area as areas of interest. before taking a long position, or if we're going in a bullish direction, or a sell if we're going obviously in a bearish direction. But that's about it. So yeah, we're just going to be patient. Mondays are always a little bit slow. You've got to definitely be careful with a Monday. Let's see what euro. Okay, so euro USD, this is interesting because, like I said, we actually didn't break out of these lows here, but you can see we're in a bit of a funny range. So yeah, we'd want to be breaking out of these highs as well, because we also have a trend line above here. So yeah, there's nothing really for me right now. It's just going to be a bit of a waiting game and being patient. Something that I always like to say is that we get paid to wait in this game, so no rush. There's nothing that really interests me here. Just going to be patient and see what happens. But the next live session, I'm going to be going live again on Wednesday morning, and then I will try and just do random lives in the week as well. But yeah, I'm going to head off, guys. My little one is awake now, but thank you so much for jumping on. Thank you for all the follows there on TikTok. But yeah, if anyone ever wants to see the full charts, like, I always prefer going live on YouTube, but I am going to work out how to share my screen on TikTok as well. But I will see you guys later. Have the most amazing